On Friday, October 23rd, Kevin Sykes went to Miss Whitlow's 4th grade class and talked to them about Lewis and Clark. Mr. Sykes brought in items made of deer hides, such as moccasins and belts. He also talked about tanning hides. During his presentation, he brought in tools like Lewis and Clark used to work with. The 4th grade class enjoyed the presentation and learned a lot. They would like to say thank you to Kevin Sykes.
On Friday, October 30th, the junior high basketball teams waited for Buckland to arrive and start playing. The junior high girls were able to get a 5-point lead in the first quarter. At the end of the first half, the Brashear girls headed to the locker room with the lead, with the score being 21-6. In the second half, the Brashear girls kept pulling ahead and got the win, 35-16. Meredith Thomas scored 11, Allison Thompson scored 10, Olivia Thompson and Audrey DeBee scored 4, and Nikki Moncrief, Ashley Moncrief, and Rachel Heimer each scored 2. For the boys' game, the Brashear boys had a rough start, which gave Buckland the lead during the first half. In the second half, the boys tried to catch up to Buckland, but were unable to. The Brashear boys lost 17-38. Peyton Hausman was the top scorer with 13, and Chance Hill and Nick Bradshaw scored 2. On Monday, November 2nd, the junior high basketball teams had a home game against Macon County. The girls started out good in the first quarter and were only down by 1 at the end. When the first half was over, the girls had the lead 16-12. Macon County wasn't about to give up and kept the girls from scoring in the third quarter while adding 5 more points to their score. The girls tried to take the win back in the fourth but weren't able to. The girls lost 23-27. Allison Thompson was the top scorer with 13, Meredith Thomas scored 8, and Abby Hall scored 2. In the boys' B game, the boys tried to take a win but had to settle for a tie, 12-12 against Macon County. Sam Smith and Gabe Thomas scored 6 points each. In the boys' A game, both teams were neck and neck the first quarter and both teams had 5 points. The boys tried to take the lead from Macon County in the second quarter but were unable to. During the second half, they tried to catch up but failed. Brashear boys lost 13-33. Peyton Hausman scored 7, Jacob Reeves scored 3, Gabe Thomas scored 2, and Jeremy Barnes scored 1. The next day, the basketball teams headed over to Novinger. In the first half of the girls' game, Novinger shot out with the lead and kept adding on to it. During the second half, the girls tried to make a comeback, but Novinger kept pushing ahead. The girls lost 16-30. Meredith Thomas was the top scorer with 9, Kayla Snelling, Allison Thompson, and Olivia Thompson each scored 2, and Miranda Creason scored 1. Before the girls' game, there was a boys' B game. The boys lost 10-13. Curtis Blakely and Gabe Thomas scored 3, and Tristan Smith scored 2. In the first quarter of the boys' A game, the boys started out strong and put 8 points on the board. Novinger battled back in the second quarter, closing Brashear's lead to only 1 point. During the second half, the boys tried to keep their lead but failed. The boys lost to Novinger 16-30. Peyton Hausman was the top scorer with 14, and Nick Bradshaw scored 2.